Now, back to Point of View, your listener-supported source for truth.
Talking about the book, The Immigration Solution, A Better Plan Than Today's. And Stephen Malenga's with us for a little bit longer, senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. Let's go back to the phones, and we'll go this time to Oklahoma. KQCV. Steve, thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking my call. I'm really interested in this issue. I'm on my way to pick the book up now. I just completed reading Naomi Klein's new book, The Shock Doctrine, which discusses a lot of the work of Milton Friedman and some of the things that were done in Chile. And it's really concerns me quite a bit, some of the things that have been done, in the name of freedom and democracy and God's name specifically. But with regards to this question, this topic, I want to ask about how you feel the influx of illegal immigrants and whatnot relates to the things that Reagan did in the 80s with, deregulation and allowing companies to send their work overseas. And actually here in Oklahoma City, our Dayton tire plant was just shut down, and they replaced it with one in Monterrey, Mexico.
Yeah, globalization. Yeah.
I hear you talking about Milton Friedman, who supported a brutal regime in Chile of Augusto Pinochet, killed thousands and thousands of good people in the church, love this, quote-unquote free market society and just the things that are being done, with the hollowing out of government and Blackwater, on and on. It's hard to even describe without sounding like a lunatic, and it concerns me so much. If you could just give your opinions on these matters, I would.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not quite sure, how you associate Milton Friedman with Pinochet. I'm a little bit confused. I mean, Friedman was asked to help install a free market economy in Chile. Chile right now is one of the most successful South American economies. It's exactly the kind of economy that we wish that Mexico City did have, and Mexico did have it, but doesn't have. But so I don't quite understand, other than the fact that Friedman is an advocate of the free markets. Here's what I would say about free markets. I'd say about that what Churchill said about democracy.
That it's the best system. It's the worst
system
all over.
Right. So
I know what you Heritage Foundation guys say.
But what alternative would you have? Would you have socialism as your...
No, a Keynesian system where government checks corporations and corporations check government.
And you don't believe we have that system in the United States?
No.
We have
no. 1.7 soldiers to contractors in Iraq right now. What do you say about that?
I have no idea what that has to do with the discussion about right now. You've lost me. But let me go back to you. See, here's where I find a lot of what you're saying to be almost, random, if you will. You just said at one time, you mentioned what Reagan did in sending jobs overseas and how that influenced immigration. Well, ask me how American jobs going overseas would bring more people here. People are coming here for jobs. That's a problem that we have to deal with. I don't understand how you think that globalization is somehow leading to greater immigration here in the United States. And if it is, it suggests the exact opposite of what you're suggesting. So, whatever happened in the 1980s and then in the 1990s with the Clinton administration in terms of free trade policies, I'm not quite sure how those free trade policies encourage all these people to come here. It's sort of the reverse of what logically you would, So you lose me when you look at free trade and say that's the problem. That's created our immigration problem. Hopefully, what free trade would do would create more jobs in Mexico so the Mexicans would stay there. But there's clearly a lack of economic opportunity in a place like Mexico, and that has to do with the corruption of its government, and that is an overarching problem. So I'm just a little bit at a loss to discuss the issue because I just don't, A plus B doesn't equal C in this discussion to me.